A few shlokas we read in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita in the form of Lila, where the first thing is that the Guru spiritual master is Krishna Das. He offered us obeisances. So I will not chant the Bengali, just the translation. He says, I offer my respectful obeisances under the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, His plenary portions, His energies, and the primeval Lord Himself, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya. I offer my respectful obeisances. Under Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gaudiya to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. So what the Upanishad describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of his body, and the Lord, known as the Supersoul, is put his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna Himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth. No other truth is greater than or equal to Him. That is nicely explained or described from the Upanishads. Krishna Das explains 3 manifestations of Lord. What the Upanishad describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of the Lord's body. So they are charmed by the light, the effulgence, so they cannot see the next level. And the Lord, known as the Supersoul, is but His localized plenary portion. So as a Supersoul, He is present in this Brahman and beyond His localized plenary portion. So Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna Himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to Him. So after the Brahman, the light, and the localized portion, the Supreme Lord, the Absolute Truth, manifests Himself with all the 6 opulences. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sati Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotion, service, the mellow of conjugal love. So, the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency, or Ladini Shakti it's called. The Lord is one, he is a person, and he manifests his pleasure energy, potency, in the most high level, the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna, but they are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna, Chaitanya. So I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So Krishna is black, but he is united with, he appears in this world as Radharani. She accepted the golden color of Radharani's complexion. So, but he is one, he appears as Lord Chaitanya, but it is Srimati Radharani and Krishna in one. So desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes, through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with emotion, appears from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi, as the moon appears from the ocean. So Sachi Devi, also an eternal expansion or manifestation of the Supreme Lord. In this world he appeared through Sachi Devi. Who is Yashodamari in the transcendental plane, but the Sachi Devi appears here in this world. So like the moon appeared from the ocean, it is nicely explained later on. May Shri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Nityananda, Shankarshan, he is a manifestation of a servant or supporter of, he supports whatever is needed. He is an expansion. It means he takes the form of Shankarshan, Sheshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karuna ocean, Garbha ocean and ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. So I surrender under the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, who is known as Shankarshan, in the midst of the Chaturvyuha, consisting of Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So these manifestations of the four, the first expansions, Nityananda or Shankarshan, in the transcendental world. Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. These are the four Vishnu forms, the first who expanded like this from expansions of the supporting energy of Lord Krishna. He possesses full opulence and resides in Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation. So I offer my full obeisances under the feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, whose partial representation called Karanodakashai Vishnu, lying on the Karana ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of illusory energy, and the shelter of all the universes. So I offer my full obeisance under the feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, a partial part of whom is Gaudiya Vishnu. From the level of Gaudiya Vishnu sprouts a lotus that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of planets. So I offer my respectful obeisance under the feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, whose secondary part in the Vishnu, lying in the ocean of milk. That Kshirograha Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities and the maintainer of all the universes. Sheshanaga is his further super part. So Lord Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. Maya means illusion, because he is non-different from Hari. The Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita, and because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore I take shelter of him. So I offer my obeisance on the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is non-different from his features as a devotee, devotional incarnation, devotional manifestation, pure devotee, and devotional energy. So glory to the all-merciful Radha and Madhana Mohan. I am lame and ill-advised, yet they are my directors, and their lotus feet are everything to me. So he took shelter in Radha Madhana Mohan in Vrindavan. He went to Vrindavan. He had a dream. Lord Nityananda appeared and told him, you should go to Vrindavan. And he took shelter there, Radha Madan Mohan, and he considers Radha Madan Mohan as his the mercy through them he could write down the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vrindavan Das was already very old and he could hardly write, but by the mercy of Radha Mohan, he wrote Radha Mohan Krishna. Through him, he wrote this Chaitanya Charitamrita. In a temple of jewels in Vrindavan, underneath a desire tree, Sri Radha Govinda, served by most confidential associates, sit upon a fortune throne. I offer my humble obeisances unto them. So Srila Gopinath, who is originally the transcendental of the rasa dance, stands on the shore in Vamsipad and attracts the attention of the cowherd dancers. With the sound of his celebrated flute, may they all confer upon us their benediction. Glory to Sri Chaitanya Nityananda. Glory to Advaita Chanda, and glory to the devotees of Sri Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. So these three deities of Vrindavan, Madan, Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath, have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benediction. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enable one to fulfill his own desire. The invocation involves three processes: defining the objective, offering benedictions, and offering obeisances. The first two verses offer respectful obeisance, generally specifically to the Lord, who is the object of worship. In the third verse, I indicate the Absolute Truth, who is the ultimate substance. With such a description, one can visualize the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Truth. In the fourth verse, I have invoked the benediction of Lord upon all the world, praying to Lord Chaitanya for his mercy upon all. In that verse, I have also explained the external reason for Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. But in the fifth and sixth verse, I have explained the prime reason for his advent. In these 6 verses, I have described the truth about Lord Chaitanya, whereas in the next 5, I have described the glory of Lord Nityananda. So the next 2 verses describe the truth of Advaita Prabhu, and the following verse describes the Panchatattva, the Lord, his plenary portion, his incarnation, his energies, and his devotees. So these 14 verses therefore offer auspicious invocations and describe the supreme truth. I offer my obeisances unto all my Vaishnava readers as I begin to explain the indicators of all these verses. I request all my Vaishnava readers to read and hear with rapt attention these narrations of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, as inculcated in the revealed scriptures. Lord Krishna enjoys by manifesting himself as the spiritual master. The devotees, the divine energies, the incarnations, and the plenary portions, they are all six. They are all six in one. I therefore worship the lotus feet of these six diversities of the one truth by invoking their benedictions. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the spiritual master, devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies and primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I first offer my respectful obeisance at the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all my instructing spiritual masters. My instructing spiritual masters are Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. These six are my instructing spiritual masters. Therefore, I offer millions of respectful obeisances unto their lotus feet. They are innumerable devotees of the Lord, of whom Srivas Thakur is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times unto their lotus feet. Advaitacharya is the Lord's partial incarnation, and therefore I offer my obeisances millions of times to his lotus feet. Srila Nityananda Ram is the plenary manifestations of the Lord, and I have been initiated by him. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto his lotus feet. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the internal potency of the Lord, to whom Shri Gadadhar Prabhu is the foremost. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personality of Godhead himself, and therefore offer innumerable prostrations at his lotus feet. Having offered obeisances unto the Lord and all his associates, I shall now try to explain these six diversities in one. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. According to the deliberate opinion of all revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is not different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the super soul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express the indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Super Soul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. It's from Bhagavad Gita. Tisham satatam yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam tata buddhiyogam tam yenamam upayantiti. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, taught Brahma and made him self-realized. Is there anything in detail you want to know, or you are? These prayers are very transcendental. Don't think it is boring. It's boring for those who are non-devotees. Those who are devotees, these prayers are directly spoken to Lord Chaitanya, Krishna. And in this way they can make Krishna visible to our transcendental eyes. Not to those who are living on the mundane plane, on the external plane. They will not understand what it means. These beautiful prayers Krishna does, Kaviraj is writing down here, with full realization by the order of Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan. So please hear attentively what I shall speak to you, for transcendental knowledge about me is not only scientific but also full of mysteries. By my causeless mercy, be enlightened in truth about my personality, manifestations and qualities and pastimes. So prior to the cosmic creation, only I exist, and no phenomena exist, either gross, subtle, or primordial. After creation, only I exist in everything. And after inhalation, only I remain eternally. So what appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy. For nothing can exist without me. It is like a reflection of a real light in the shadow. For in the light there are neither shadows nor reflections. As the material elements enter the bodies of all living beings and yet remain outside them all, I exist within all material creation, and yet I am not within them. The Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta Swami, gives commentary on this. Because material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, combine with the subtle material elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego, to construct the bodies of this material world. And yet they are beyond these bodies as well. Any material construction is nothing but an amalgamation or combination of material elements in varied proportions. These elements exist both within and beyond the body. For example, although the sky exists in space, it also enters within the body. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, who is the cause of material energy, lives within the material world as well as beyond it. Without his presence within the material world, the cosmic body could not develop, just as without the presence of the spirit within the physical body, the body could not develop. The entire material manifestation develops and exists because the Supreme Lord of Godhead enters it as Paramatma, or the Supersoul. The personality of Godhead, in his all-pervading feature of Paramatma, enters every entity, from the biggest to the most minute. His existence can be realized by one who has the single qualification of submissiveness, and who thereby becomes a surrendered soul. The development of submissiveness is the cause of proportionate spiritual realization, by which one can ultimately meet the Supreme Lord in person, as a man meets another man face to face. Because of his development of transcendental attachment for the Supreme Lord, a surrendered soul feels the presence of his beloved everywhere, and all his senses are engaged in the loving service of the Lord. His eyes are engaged in seeing the beautiful couple Sri Radha and Krishna sitting on a decorated throne beneath a desire tree in the transcendent land of Vrindavan. His nose is engaged in smelling the spiritual aroma of the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, his ears are engaged in hearing messages from Vaikuntha, and his sense embraces the lotus feet of the Lord and his associates. Thus the Lord is manifested to a pure devotee from within and without. This is one of the mysteries of devotional relationship, in which a devotee and the Lord are bound by a tie of spontaneous love. To achieve this love should be the goal of life for every living being. So, Krishna thus says, a person interested in transcendental knowledge must therefore always directly and indirectly inquire about it to know the all-pervading truth. So all glories to Chintamani and my initiating spiritual master Somagiri. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Person of Godhead, who wears peacock feathers in his crown, under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees. Jaya Sri Radharani enjoys the transcendental mellows of eternal concerts. This is from Krishna Karnamrita. It's written, yes, by Bilva Mangala Thakur. Since one cannot visually experience the presence of the Supersoul, he appears before us a liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself. One should therefore avoid bad company and associate only with devotees. With their realized instruction, such saints can cut the knot connecting one with activities unfavorable to devotional service. The spiritual, powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in the society of devotees, and is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. So we end today. Anything to say on this? Gauranga, such a big book. Of course we can. We can do everything. Yeah.
How you started to record, it would be really beautiful to have all this, that we can, even if it's something missing, we can always sing and record it.
Yes. It's nothing wrong to hear Kaviraj, Goswami. But it is a very high level. So we can try, I will see how much attention can be put on. If we are ready to hear properly, then we should hear day and night, life after life. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Goswami Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Gurudev Nityalila Prabhishtam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prabhachari Astotar Shata Shri Bhakti Vaibhava